Hi, Richard. I'm Robert Wirtz. I'm the one who created the fountains that you and Barbara saw at Longwood Gardens. Barbara called me today and said she's had this in her mind for quite some time, and she decided to get a Christmas present for you. And the present is a fountain from Igneous Rock Gallery, created by me. And you will have an opportunity to participate in the design process rather than her selecting one in advance. So I'm making this video just to give you an introduction to our operation here, give you a little mini tour in anticipation of meeting you next week or whenever you and Barbara are able to make it in. Get in a little bit closer and show you a little bit of the detail in this rock. What makes this rock so spectacular for our purpose is the dramatic height to width ratio combined with the unique color palette and the fact that it's got some motion to the lines of the rock. Because there was seismic activity going on while this rock was solidifying at surface when the lava pushed up, it's got twists, and sometimes it's a little thicker in the middle than in the ends, and that gives it a line and form that's just completely agreeable for my artistic purposes, as opposed to the more straight and drab looking, much larger in diameter common basalt that's available. So to give you an idea, Richard, of some of the color variation, sometimes you get these high contrast splotches or marks on them, and there's a check mark. Reminds me of the Nike branding, that check mark. Typically we stagger the elevations a little bit more than this, but in this instance I decided to go with three that were of about the same stature. Here's a big, tall, giant specimen piece. That's 85 inches tall. It's just huge. And of course these are all drilled from two directions to meet in the middle, so that's a pretty exacting process. Give you a peek at our showroom here. We share our gallery space with the Brain Vessel Art Gallery. They have events here. This is a bigger room than they have up there, a space for us, so we usually spread out the buffet table and so forth for catering and all. That's my wife, Beverly, who you'll meet. And a video playing here of various pieces that we've done. There's one that's iced up at night. That's the same fountain, a close-up. It's got a lot of that spectacular blue in it. Hopefully this will show up as good as it's showing up in my viewfinder right now. That's a big sandstone feature I did at Penn State University, right in the center of campus where all the pathways converge in front of the Student Union building at the Brandywine campus. So you can see the rest of that slideshow when you come in. I'll take you to the workshop where we make these fountains. It's adjacent here. And then we'll take you out to the courtyard after that. So this rough looking space is where we build the fountains. There's our plumbing cart, excess columns that we couldn't fit in across the parking lot where we store things. This is our mascot here, Miss Maggie. She's a 13-week-old chocolate lab, and Maggie will most likely be here to greet you when you come in. This is her playpen where she occupies herself while I'm working. So I look forward to meeting you both face to face. I had a wonderful visit with Barbara on the phone today while I was driving to Maryland to install a fountain for someone right before Christmas. It was a Christmas present. This one goes to California next week. Okay, so I'll take you out in the courtyard. We have 8 fountains flowing outside in the courtyard. And sometimes when folks come, they like to start here, look at a finished flowing fountain. And then after this, I'll take you inside the room where we store all our excess inventory, because you'll be able to choose your own columns if you so desire. You may find a fountain that's finished that satisfies you completely, but a lot of times people like to choose their columns. These guys are especially stout. All right, we'll go inside. Okay, this is the last stop. This is the room across the parking lot, which is completely unimproved at this point. A tenant moved out, and I decided to put some loose columns in here temporarily, and later on we're going to make this look as nice as the showroom side. But these are all the loose columns that we couldn't fit on the other side, and where the design process usually starts if people want to have a hand in picking their own columns. A lot of times we'll start by choosing the tallest column. If you know that you want the tallest column to be, let's say 40 inches or so, then we look for 40-inch columns, and you'll see one that you like more than the others, and we'll pull that one out in the middle of the room and let that be the tallest one, and then we'll look for something of staggered elevation that's a little shorter. But you can see you got all kinds of options here. I just had a couple here that are interested in this 5-column grouping. I'm actually going to take this to their house and set it up on a piece of plywood so they can step back and look at the scale of it and go inside and look at it from the inside and decide if this is the right number of columns and the right height. Some of them have these blues and purples. There's olives and rust, and some of them are high contrast like this, and others are more kind of monochrome. And there's such a thing as mixing those in the same grouping too. So just one more stop here, I'll show you. Look, that almost looks like someone's face or someone's silhouette or something there. Like a guy that's fallen asleep with his chin on his chest, if you can see what I'm seeing. There's one more room here with more pieces. So it's almost overwhelming sometimes to people, but there's a lot to choose from. And we can make it as simple or as involved as you want. I want you to love it in the end, so I'm real patient with the design process, or I can also expedite it for you. I'm real confident creating something given parameters that you folks decide on. So anyway, Richard, congratulations. I look forward to meeting you face to face, and I'll sign off for now. Hope you enjoy your Christmas present. Take care. Bye.